Every program you will ever write starts with storing data. In Python, you do that with variables. In this episode, we will go line by line through what a variable is, the 4 core data types Python gives you, and how to convert between them. A variable is a named container that holds a value in memory. On this line, we write age, then the equals sign, then 25. The equal sign here is not checking equality. It is the assignment operator. It tells Python to store the value 25 under the name age. When we call the print function with age, Python looks up what is stored under that name and outputs it. A variable is not locked to its first value. You can reassign it at any point in your program. Here, we first store 25 in age and print it. Then we reassign age to 30 and print it again. Python outputs 30. The old value 25 is gone. Python only keeps the most recent assignment in memory. The first data type is the integer. An integer is any whole number with no decimal point. It can be positive, negative, or 0. Here we assign 100 to score, 2024 to year, and -5 to temperature. The type function tells you what data type a variable holds. When we pass score into type and print the result, Python tells us it is of class int, which is short for integer. The second data type is the float. A float is any number that contains a decimal point. Here, we store 9.99 as price, 3.14159 as pi, and -0.25 as loss. When we check the type of price, Python tells us it is of class float. In machine learning, you will work with floats constantly. Model accuracy, loss values, learning rates, and neural network weights are all stored as floats. The third data type is the string. A string is any sequence of characters wrapped in quotes. You can use single quotes or double quotes. Both work exactly the same way in Python. Here, we store Alice's name and hello Python as message. When we check the type of name, Python tells us it is of class star, which is short for string. Here is an important distinction. A string can contain numeric characters, but that does not make it a number. When we store 10,001 inside quotes, Python treats it as text. When we check the type, it says str, not int. If you try to add the number 1 to this string, Python will throw a type error. This is one of the most common mistakes beginners make. The fourth data type is the boolean. A boolean can only hold one of 2 values, either true or false. Here we store true in is trained and false in has error. When we check the type, Python tells us it is of class bool. One rule you must remember. True and false must always start with a capital letter. Writing them in lowercase will cause a name error. Booleans are used heavily in conditions and control flow, which we will cover in the next episode. Type conversion is the process of changing a value from one data type to another. The first case is converting a string to an integer. This happens often when reading data from a file or from user input. Everything comes in as text. Here we have the string 25 stored in age str. We pass it into the int function, which converts it to a real integer and stores the result in age int. Now we can do math with it. Adding 5 gives us 30. The second conversion is integer to float. We use the float function to do this. Here we start with the integer 95. Passing it into float gives us 95.0. The value is the same, but the type is now float. This is useful in machine learning when a calculation expects decimal precision and you are working with whole numbers. The third conversion is number to string. We use the astr function for this. Here, we convert the float 9.99 to a string. The most common reason to do this is to combine a number with a piece of text. In Python, you cannot directly join a string and a number. You need to convert the number to a string first. Once converted, the plus sign joins them together as text. Not every type conversion is valid. If you try to convert the word hello into an integer, Python raises a value error because it has no way to turn that text into a number. The same happens if you try to convert the string 9.99 directly into an integer. Python does not handle the decimal. The fix is to convert it to a float first and then convert that float to an integer. The same happens if value arid backward divider 2. The result is 9 with the decimal drop. You now understand variables and the 4 core data types in Python. integers for whole numbers, floats for decimals, strings for text, and booleans for true or false values. You also know how to convert between them and what happens when a conversion fails. In the next episode, we cover operators and expressions where you will start doing real work with these values.